Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you are a first timer, then welcome to the channel. This is your watch list for Wednesday, December 7th. I put these watch lists out for you guys for free every single day. So if you're new, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and hitting that bell. The bell will send you the notifications for when I actually send these out every single day for free. Now, you guys are going to get a little bit lucky here on these ones because there are not a lot of setups due to what the market did today. It was basically red right across the board. So we have a lot of 2-down reds. So because of that, there are not a lot of strat setups, so to speak. There's maybe 4 or 5 of them. So what the Griswold Gold members usually get with the top 5, you guys are going to get that in this video today for free. Now let me explain that a little bit to you guys as we go through this. I'm on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. Follow me there. But I do have a Discord. So that Discord is 95% free. There is a paid portion of that you can join. It's called the Griswold Gold membership. It's $50 a month, or you can buy 2 months and you get a month free. And it includes a lot of great stuff. It includes a 1-hour strat course that I've created. It includes live trading bots on SPY and a bunch of other tickers like CCL, Disney, QQQ, DIA, Tesla. It includes the top 5 that I mentioned. So when I go through these daily watch lists, there's a top 5 that I include for the Griswold members from that list, the plays that I think are going to do the best that following day. There's live one-on-ones with myself and group members as well. So make sure you guys check that out. If you're looking at TradingView as a platform to use to chart your trades, there's a link in the description below. That link gives you a free 30-day trial to TradingView. So try that out. Give it the free 30 days. If you decide to use it, you get up to $30 off of that subscription, but you need to start by clicking on the link below. Let's get into this video here, guys. What I want to show you guys and what I want to discuss first off is the top 5 that I gave out to the Griswold Gold members yesterday, because they were all really well, you could have had a lot of really successful plays on them. And I know a lot of the members did because I've seen DMs from them. So this is the top 5. They didn't all work, but a lot of them really did. So CCL was the first one we gave out. We had this 2-up red shooter candle with the trigger. Well, we triggered and we hit multiple targets, 1 and 2. Now, if you would have gone down to a smaller time frame to play this, say on, let's say, the 15-minute chart, you would have got stopped out. You would have broken on this first bar here, 2 down, inside bar, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, outside bar. So you would have got stopped out right here. So you wouldn't have caught the full move, but you would have caught a really big move. Now, I know OG Trades likes to trade on the 15. Myself, a lot of times I'll use the 5. So even on the 5, you would have got stopped out right here. You wouldn't have hit first targets, okay? So either way, you should have had a winning trade on CCL. We'll move on to MU, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. If you guys want me to spend more time, I can do that for you. Let me know in the comment section. Inside bar on MU yesterday. So today, we take the trigger and we hit targets. If we hop down to the 15, you can see how it would have played out. If we go back to the 6, and we triggered, and you basically would have not quite hit targets here, and then it came back up and hit targets later down. So MU, you could have had a winner, you could have had a small loser, depending on how you played MU. If we went down to the 5 probably made it a little bit tougher to play on this one. Right here was your first trigger. Your first trigger there, and then you would have broke above that original trigger line to get out of the trade. Okay, so MU wasn't the greatest of trades. Small loss if you took it. We move on to Uber. I think Uber had a really good play today. So there's Uber. We triggered. We hit targets. How did it play out if we go to the 15? There's the trigger. There's the target. So Uber off of the 15 was a really good setup. Okay? We triggered. We hit targets. We hit even more than targets. And once you reverse back through that target, you're out of that trade. Okay? It ran a little more, but we don't need to catch the whole trade, guys. You catch a little bit of the trade, and you are going to win at what we're showing you here and what we're teaching. So that was on Uber. If you went down to the 5 to play this off of the 5-minute chart, we hop back to the beginning of the day. You probably would have got stopped out there, or if you would have waited a little bit, you would have made it down to that target right there. So some people probably would have held through here because their risk tolerance is a little bit more. They'll accept a small loss off of this 5-minute, maybe somewhere off of that first 5-minute bar where we triggered. Either way, big win or a very small loss on Uber, depending on how you played it. We go on to the daily, on to GE. So GE, I think, was a tough one to play. Let me see. As we go into GE here on the daily chart, finished outside bar. So yeah, I'm not even going to go look at this one. We triggered here, didn't even hit targets, about halfway to the target. So if we go to the 15 and just see how this one played out. Let me see, did this thing gap up in the morning? Yeah, so sorry guys, we opened on GE. We opened up here, so we opened on a gap play. So you could have played the gap off of the 15, and again, you probably would have got stopped out on it. Probabilities, guys, it doesn't always work out. This outside bar would have probably stopped you out on the trade or a little bit sooner. Okay, so GE. We'll move on to Nike. Nike on the daily. There was our trigger, and there was our target, okay? Off of the 3-1 setup off of Nike. So again, we hop down to the 15. See how you could have got into this trade right here. There's your trigger. There's your target. 2 down, inside bar, outside bar. So you would have got stopped out at that target somewhere. So again, triggers, targets. It had a little bit more room to run, but not much. Again, we didn't take the full trade, but you don't need the full trade to be a successful trader. You don't have to call the bottom of this trade or the top of the trade, however you want to look at it. Nike was a successful winner for us, okay? Next up, we had Starbucks, and I think this was the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last one that I gave out as the top 5. And as we head to the daily to see what happened, triggered and targets, but how did it actually play out if we go to the smaller time frames, if that's how you trade it? It didn't actually do that till later in the day. So we triggered, inside bar, reverse, so you could have got stopped out. These ones are tough because it didn't really trigger again until 9:45, and then that's when it went on its run. So it kind of chopped around in here. You probably would have got stopped out in there. But that was the top 5 for the Griswold Gold members. I want to go over 2 other things here. SPY, I called out on Twitter. I told you guys we were approaching a 2-2 continuation on the day. And if any of you jumped in on this trade, there was a 2-2 continuation trigger. Watch what happens with this, guys. This was a fantastic trade. If any of you guys were able to catch it, it was a fantastic trade right here. We triggered down, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, inside bar, 2 down, 2 down. At the very least, you would have got stopped out right here. And I'll tell you guys, when I'm this far into a trade, now this went from 398 down to 395. That is a really, really great trade on SPY. And I'll tell you what, when I'm this far into a trade, I don't go over this very often, but a lot of times I like to keep this 9 EMA line on. And what that does for me is if we're in this trade, I will look for a close above that 9 EMA as my stop loss. This isn't part of the strat, but it's something that I keep in my tool belt. And you can see you wouldn't have got stopped out till right here. Way down here at, we're looking at 393.54. So this would have been a full day trade for us. It would have been fantastic for you guys if you would have jumped in on it. I called it out on Twitter while I was at my kid's school. So again, here, we triggered down. We had no signal for a reversal. Inside bar, So we had 2 down here, then we still had the 2 down inside bar, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down inside bar, 2 down, 2 up. So worst case, you went from 398 to 396, a fantastic trade. If you would have followed the 9 EMA, you would have been stopped out here off of that candle, right here, or maybe on any one of these. And then if you weren't, you ran it all the way down like we showed you earlier and got stopped out at this 393 mark. So that was the play on SPY. Let's get into this top playlist that I've got set out for you guys. We're going to start out with American Airlines. And again, there's not a lot of them. Stay with me here. There's probably only about 5 of them. So like I said, you guys are getting essentially what I would give the Griswold Gold members for a top 5. So I set this chart up before the market closed, and this used to be an inside bar. Now we are a 2-up green, so American Airlines gets removed from the list. ATVI, not something I normally play because the spread between the bid and the ask is not far apart. I don't know what it's going to look like tomorrow, but we do have an inside bar. So inside bars, if you guys are new, if you're struggling, I always tell people to look at the inside bars. If you want this indicator that gives you the yellow inside bars, the white outside bars, the candlestick numbers, the time frame continuity, a bunch of other stuff, the link to purchase it is in the description below, or it comes with the Griswold Gold membership. Calls at 76.93. First targets marked out. I'm going to place them as green. And puts are possible at 76.10. First target marked out at 76.04. That is a setup on ATVI. I would be very, very cautious of how you play that because the targets are not great. And again, guys, if you don't like any of these setups, don't take them. Sit on your hands. You don't have to trade every day. Move on to an intraday trade. Look at the high liquidity tickers like SPY, NEO, QQQ. Look for intraday trades. AMD, CCL. You can look for intraday trades on those tickers off of the 15-minute. Set your triggers and your targets on a higher time frame. Trade them on a lower time frame. Okay, manage them on a lower time frame. I put CAD on here for one reason, because I noticed it as I was going through the plays. This was a weekly inside bar. If we went to the weekly inside, that should be down there. If we looked at the weekly swing plays that I gave you off of this double inside bar, okay, it was one of the top plays. Again, I gave this out to the Griswold Gold members as a top 3 setup for the swing trades. This was one of them. Guys, it is produced. You guys, this would have been a fantastic trade. If you would have taken this trigger here, we hit multiple targets on the way down. 1, 2, 3 targets on the way down before it reversed. Top 3 play on the swing trades for the Griswold Gold members. That's why I put that one on there, just so you guys could see it. We go to IBM. IBM has a 2 down green, so we only broke the bottom of the previous candle. We're going to look for calls on this at 147.80, and we are going to mark first targets here. First targets here. Okay, third target is a trigger for the weekly. We move on to SE. SE has a, well, again, there we go, inside bar, 3-1 setup. So a rare pattern. It doesn't happen very often. We are going to look, I would really like to see this thing trigger to the upside. We've got good magnitude up there. We've got time frame continuity on our side. If we trigger to the upside, this and target, we will be full time frame green to the upside. So this gold bar, also part of that indicator I created. The last time there was a 3-1 setup, we gapped up and trended down. This one, we gapped down here and trended up. This last 3-1 setup here, we triggered and we hit target. So they're not always great trades, guys. We base off of probability. So the probability tells me that the 3-1 setup is a powerful pattern, usually has a strong outcome. It doesn't always happen, okay? And we trade off of probabilities as traders. Every trade we look at, every strategy we look at is based off of probabilities, and it's how we manage that risk when the probability goes against us is what makes you a successful trader. So that's the setup on SE. And realistically, guys, that's most of what I have for you. There's not a lot of great setups. Neo, here's something that I took as a swing play for the monthly. I could have sold up here. I did not. I held it. It ran down. I'm practicing patience with this stuff. Again, my expiry on this is January 6th. My strike price is $13.50. So I'm currently sitting at $13.28 right now with a hammer candle. And this is actually this would be a top 5 play for me. Because right now, we've got a 2 down that finished green. Okay? And we've got a hammer candle on the daily. We're looking for the trigger at 13.28. We're looking for calls. We're looking for a first target of 14.03 tomorrow. A hammer candle is an actionable signal. A 2 down green is a great setup on a reversal. And speaking about that, guys, and I'm going to talk about this a little more in a video. The question comes up all the time of 2-2 reversals. Does the color matter? A lot of people say yes, the color matters. Yes, it does, because the color will either show buyers or sellers within that day, the week, whatever that candlestick is representing. So in this instance, on the day, we're saying, yes, there are buyers in place here. There's a hammer candle. It's an actionable signal. It's a bullish pattern. So yes, the probability of this trending up is much higher than trending down based on the candlestick color. Just like this one, we trended down because we had a 2 up that finished red. The probability said that yes, we are going to trend down on the day. But I want to show you something. I want to go to SPY. So Neo would be my top play for tomorrow if I was looking at something. I want to go show you guys SPY, because I saw somebody post this on the weekly chart for SPY. And this ended up going up. But earlier in the day, we went to, was it the weekly or the monthly? The daily, the weekly. Well, now I'm confused. Well, regardless, I'm going to try and find something here. The color, it matters because there's buyers or sellers. Just like there is on SPY here. It was a 2 up that finished red. We would expect it to go down. It did. Okay? But here's an example of a 2 down that finished green. We would expect it to go up, but we had the continuation. Okay? Regardless of what that color was, the market said we're selling. It was a 2-2 continuation. Now, just because this candle is red here, it doesn't mean tomorrow that we can't trend back to the upside. It doesn't mean that at all. Okay, so a reversal is a reversal in any form, in any fashion. This was a 2 down red, and we reversed to the upside. This was a 2 down red, and we reversed to the upside right here. So does color matter? Yes, it does, but does that prevent the next candle from reversing? It doesn't. So you can look at it in 2 different ways. You can say, yes, the candlestick color matters because it gives us higher probability, but that doesn't mean that we don't get a reversal. Guys, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a playlist for learning tools to dive into this stuff a little bit more, to learn it a little bit more. I'm also going to give you a playlist on how to play the gaps, meaning if Wednesday opens and we open up way up here above that trigger line, let's say, for example, here, let's go to Neo, because Neo, I told you guys, is a top setup for me. Neo, if Neo on Wednesday opens up right here, we have a gap play setup. I'm going to leave you guys either a playlist or a video at the end of this one for you guys to dive into that. But that's it, guys. Good luck trading Wednesday. I wish you nothing but the best, and we will see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.